The Flash, man, I wear this shirt a lot. Sorry. But it goes with my hat. So, and as you guys know, I'm faster than any man alive. I can run like the wind blows, kind of like Forrest Gump, but even faster. Usain Bolt, he's okay. But nothing compared to me. Anyway, so I'm going to be working while I'm talking to you guys, but I want to talk about SoPal's perfect man that he's looking for. He's looking for a boyfriend. I don't think I can fill the role. I've never had that intimate of a relationship with a man before. I mean, I could try. I can see how it works, but I'm just so used to women that I don't know. I figure that I just don't know the etiquette of being gay. I need to learn. I need to go to gay school so I can learn how to be gay, and then maybe me and SoPal can start dating. But now, on a serious note, he's talking about like just kind of building on like the difference between a true friend and a false friend, or somebody who's just using you, which sounds like the guy that you're talking about. So I think there's like passive using and there's aggressive using, right? So someone who's maybe like passively using you, maybe they just use you and you don't really have to give any effort. Like somebody who wants to drop your name, right? Like I said, if you're a boss, if you're a famous person, if you're in some type of a leadership power position, people want to get to know you so that they can name drop you later on. Be like, hey, I know Southern Paladin. Like, yeah, me and him go way back, blah, 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 just to kind of give themselves street credit. Now that's sort of like passively using you, right? There was no skin off your nose for them to do that. It took you 2 seconds to take a picture with them or whatever. And so now they can claim that they're really good friends with you or whatever, when they're not. And then there's aggressive using, which it sounds like your friend did to you, like, and that's taking advantage, right? Can you come over to my house and help me move? I'm not going to pay you anything. I'm not going to, I'm not even going to feed you lunch. It's just like, if you consider yourself a real friend of mine, you're going to come over to my house and spend 8 hours lifting heavy furniture and driving a truck back and forth between my old house and my new house. And then after I don't need you anymore to help me move, you're never going to hear from me again. That's aggressive using, right? Or like Bob Cratchit and Ebenezer Scrooge, right? So Scrooge worked Bob Cratchit to death and made him work extra hours, made him work during Christmas Eve or whatever, like that a Christmas Carol story says, and that's aggressive using. That's taking advantage of people's kindness. You claim that friend of yours didn't know that you were somebody who was too nice, and that's a, quote, weakness of yours or whatever. But I can tell you that there's a lot of people that have that weakness. I'm actually a person who has that weakness. But is it really a weakness? I don't know. It definitely leaves you feeling unsatisfied at the end of the day. When you don't get a thank you, or you just get a little, hey, thanks, man, after you worked your ass off and you didn't get any compensation. True compensation is compensation. It's there's a surprisingly high percentage of people who will do that to you. Surprisingly high percentage of people who will do that to you. It does take a certain personality type. You can call them narcissists. I think that would probably suffice. Somebody who they're kind of, it's almost like they have walls built around their brain, walls built around their mind, where they can only see what they need and what they want. And it's such a priority to get what they want done that they're willing to sacrifice you. They're willing to take advantage of you. They're willing to step over you. They're willing to push you out of the way. They're willing to ruin your career so that their career can advance. They're willing to say bad things about you behind your back to make you look bad. And it's like the teeter-totter effect. Like when somebody else looks bad, the other person looks good, right? One side goes down, the other side goes up. All of these things are out there. Now, the real question, though, You know that that exists. The real question is, what do I do about it? Do I let people take advantage of me? And that's the tough thing, you know. And um, I if you call yourself a Christian or a godly man, um, there aren't too many verses in the Bible that address that. It's actually hard to find any. The Bible tends to serve as something to speak out against the people who do stuff like that. Like, don't do this. Don't take advantage of people. You know, you know. But uh, in the words of Jesus, it seems like he asks us to do very difficult things with regard to that. I mean, look at the Sermon on the Mount. If somebody asks you to walk a mile with them, walk 2 miles with them. If somebody asks for your coat, give them your shirt as well. If somebody borrows from you and does not repay you, don't ask them to repay you. I mean, he's literally telling you to lay down over the mud puddle and let people step on you so that they don't get their feet dirty. That's what he's telling you to do. And the real question is like, okay, I'm doing this and it hurts and it almost relieves me of my dignity. Leaves me feeling taken advantage of, violated, unsatisfied. I would think that I would get some kind of personal satisfaction out of letting this happen, like knowing like, okay, I did the right thing and now I feel better about it. But I actually end up feeling like shit afterwards, like I got raped up the ass, you know, by someone, and now they're just off doing their own thing. And they got off, and I'm like laying there with blood coming out of my a-hole. What else did Jesus say? You know, he said, blessed are you if people say all kinds of untruthful, horrible things about you because of me, you know, and be overjoyed because your reward in heaven is going to be great. And so there really is this sort of you're laying down your life as a sacrifice so that other people can walk all over you. Now, whoever is going to walk all over you is going to walk all over you, and you know, I mean, that's what Jesus did. You know, he sat there and let people whip the shit out of him and punch him and pull his hair and rip his beard out of his face and whip him and nail him to a cross, and he sat there and let it happen. You think he liked that? No. So there's this call for us to be eternally minded about this and, you know, basically look at this life as if it's almost like it's a throwaway, you know, not taking opportunities. Now, the only thing that I would say that even comes close to Jesus talking about protecting yourself is don't throw pearls at swine. Don't cast pearls before swine, because they will trample the pearls and then turn on you and tear you to pieces. A lot of people interpret that as not sharing the gospel with people who aren't open to it or whatever. But, you know, he doesn't outwardly say that. He gives you a parable, basically. He gives you an illustration. Don't cast your pearls before swine. And then he kind of leaves it up to you to decide what that means. And so maybe that means don't put yourself in situations, you know, for people who aren't going to appreciate it. Don't willingly put yourself in, you know, situations where people are just going to take advantage of you and then walk away. Because sometimes, you know, we can't handle that kind of a thing, you know, like your acquaintance at work, you know, he invited you to go out fishing and then your wife was like, tell him to fuck off. So is that the Christian thing to do, is to tell him to fuck off and like, you're not going to go fishing with him? Or would the 100% Christian thing to do would be like, okay, yeah, I'll go fishing with you. You know, it's just like, almost like you almost feel like sometimes God is calling you to have no backbone at all, um, um, like a sheep to the slaughter, right? Just, oh, you want to abuse me more? Okay, yeah, um, I'll come there and let you abuse me more. Not that fishing is abusing, but like you know, go fishing with the guy and act like everything's fine, and you're not pissed off about what he did to you and all that stuff, and that would be painful. Um, I fully admit that I don't think I'm strong enough to do that. Everybody has their breaking point, and when you get taken advantage of by somebody, or or you do something really, really nice for somebody and they're just like, no appreciation, no nothing. I fully admit that I cannot continue in that situation. I can't keep going back to that person and doing nice things for them. I have my limits, where I will let you come this far and no further. Um, Now, if somebody wants to come further, do you punch them in the face, or do you just go, you know what? I think I'm done here, and you just kind of walk away and hold your tongue and do whatever. Maybe that's the more Christian thing to do, obviously, than to take them to task and punch them in the face and you fucking took advantage of me, it's those waters get really muddy. It's really difficult to know what to do in those situations, and what the right thing is to do. Is the right thing to hold your tongue? Um, Now, full well that when you take somebody to task like that, they will typically dig a bunker. And sorry, my phone cut out on me. So what I was saying at the end there was most people are not going to just go, oh, you're right. Yeah, I took advantage of you. I'm really sorry. I'm going to 100% look in the mirror and apologize. And, will you please forgive me? 99.9 repeated percent of people will not do that. They will find another reason to say, well, you're just jealous. That's what your problem is. You're just jealous, or whatever. Because I have to protect me. I have to protect my ego. I have to protect, right? You're attacking my manhood and my integrity, and I have to save face, and I have to say, no. You're the one who's wrong, right? I mean, like, we all have that narcissistic tendency in us. All of us have it. We're called not to give into that, but most people do give into it. So don't expect people to fully admit when they're wrong. When you take them to task, for them to look in the mirror and say, you know what, you're right. I'm sorry. I need to do better. I need to change, blah, 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 whatever. Like that expectation is going to drive you absolutely bonkers. I've got so many situations in my life where I can tell you, whether it was a girlfriend, whether it was a boss, whether it was whoever it was, where in my mind, they were clearly in the wrong. And I was making some very good points about, you should have done this differently. You should have done that differently. And they'd say, hey, what's done is done, man. We can sit here all day and we can point fingers, but at the end of the day, what's done is done. They just will not look in the mirror. They will not look in the mirror. And expecting people to look in the mirror is a very, very unrealistic expectation. You can say your piece but expect them to dig a hole, dig a bunker, and fire back at you. Expect that. So sometimes that's throwing pearls at swine, right? Giving nuggets of truth to somebody who cannot actually handle it. They're going to trample those nuggets of truth, and they're going to come back at you, and they are going to fire back at you what they think are nuggets of truth that you need to know about yourself. This whole thing wasn't my fault. It was your fault because you did. That's what's going to happen with a lot of people. When you try to give them nuggets of truth, they're not going to accept them. That's what I really think that pearls at swine is. You're giving people like, hey, look in the mirror and see what you did. No, I'm not. I will not look in the mirror. I will not do it. You look in the mirror. You're the one who needs to look in there, right? Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Sorry for such a long video. Adjust your expectations is the only thing that I can say, because human beings, we expect human beings to act like God, but they don't, because they're not him. So yeah.